Due to their open-minded and empathetic nature, it can be hard to believe that the caring INFP personality type has any pet peeves at all. Well, newsflash, they're only human like the rest of us. And with being human comes annoyances and irritations of the world around us. So what exactly gets on this mediator type's nerves and why? Welcome back, Psychos. Today we're going to discuss exactly that, the 10 things all INFPs hate. But before we get into it, have you liked and subscribed to our channel? Go ahead, we'll wait for you. Be sure to click the notification bell while you're there so that you never miss a video. Alright, let's get right into it, starting with number 1, being put on the spot. Okay, let's be real. There's not many people that particularly enjoy being put on the spot, especially when they're being challenged on their opinion or way of thinking. Yet, when it comes to INFPs and a few other introverted personality types, having the spotlight involuntarily turned on them comes with a whole new level of annoyance. With such a strong preference to work behind the scenes, they can even become uncomfortable being complimented or praised on the spot, especially in front of a group of people. In addition to compliments and comments, most INFPs struggle to properly express their ideas when spontaneously called upon. They require time to think and sort their thoughts in a way that makes sense for other people. So when they're forced to share without that given time, it can be extremely annoying and even embarrassing at times. Number 2, when people refuse to listen or care. Known to be one of the most kind and caring types of the 16 personality types, the INFP is one of the best listeners there is. Considered the mediator type, this empathetic personality is able to fully sense when people do not demonstrate similar listening and caring skills. While they don't have unnecessarily high expectations for their social interactions, they do expect a communal sense of communication and understanding, and rightfully so. In fact, it's not a lack of attention that really gets them. The INFP is especially sensitive to people who refuse to listen or care in a deliberate or malicious way. And it's fair to say that they're not so fond of those types of people, whether it's someone they should be able to trust or a random stranger. People who dismiss the INFP's thoughts and feelings as unimportant hold a special place in their mental book of pet peeves. Number 3, not being taken seriously. Similar to being criticized for who they are, INFPs are also challenged with not being taken seriously because of their seemingly unrealistic and idealistic views on life. Combined with their open-minded and imaginative thought processes, people may view an INFP as cute or naive, rather than taking their views and opinions for the truth. Realistically, INFPs aren't as innocent-minded as they seem, although this introverted type prefers to look at the bright side of things and the best in people they meet. They are all too aware of the way the world actually is to not take non-ideal outcomes into consideration. In fact, some people with this personality may even consider more serious-minded than most types, so don't let their passionate nature fool you. Number 4, being criticized for their personality. INFPs don't want to be told that they're too sensitive, overly idealistic, or that they often have their heads in the clouds, and rightfully so. The very core aspects of the INFP and other similar types are what makes them them, and therefore even intentionally humorous comments and criticisms to their functions can cause negative feelings. Jabs to their involuntary characteristics is like telling them that something is not only wrong with what they're doing, but also who they are as people. And it doesn't take a genius to understand how deeply that could hurt, especially when having to pretend to brush it off to avoid any conflict or vulnerability. Number 5, injustice of any sort. Cruelty, inequality, and injustice has no place around the INFP personality type. In fact, discrimination and unfairness of any kind is probably one of, if not the most hated thing by this generous idealist. Because they choose to see the world in a positive light, people with this personality type tend to have a particular dislike for selfish, judgmental, and egotistical people who hurt others in any way, shape, or form. Whether it's something simple like unfair favoritism in the workplace or something of a bigger scale such as the fight against global racism, INFPs can't fathom the evilness of some of the people who walk this earth. Luckily, these injustices are what allow this type to never lose sight of their desire to live a meaningful and purpose-filled life with the hopes of leaving the world a better place. Number 6. Lack of meaning and inspiration in life. Speaking of the INFP's drive to live an honest and purposeful life, this passionate personality type can feel a sense of extreme unease when their life lacks these very qualities. Much like other intuitive personality types, the INFP seeks meaning in everything they do. They can easily imagine a life for themselves that's full of contribution and adventure because they want life to matter and not just on a small scale. They want to be swimming in the Alps, solving world hunger, writing the next award-winning novel, making deep connections and soaking in all that life has to offer. Unfortunately, this isn't exactly how life is cut out for most people, and the reality can be devastating for an INFP to come to terms with. Of course, they can tolerate the repetitive nature of normal life, but without purpose to back it up, they will eventually close themselves off and throw in the towel. Number 7. Inauthentic people. With such high value placed on remaining fully authentic themselves, the INFP personality type can surely be annoyed when faced with a lack of authenticity in others. Beside the fact that people with an ingenuine character can be rightfully annoying to almost any type, the INFP tends to feel the deepest dislike when it comes to dealing with the parts of themselves that inauthentic people may bring out in them. When this tried and true personality type is in the presence of a phony character, annoyance and irritability set in at record speeds, sparking feelings that the compassionate INFP is not overly accustomed to. Number 8. Not enough alone time. The classic introvert pet peeve, lack of restorative alone time, with introverted feelings as their main function, this personality type resorts to making most of their decisions in life based on their own emotions and values rather than concrete facts. Therefore, it takes a little more brain work to navigate and process through information for the INFP, requiring them to retreat into solitude daily. Without this alone time, this imaginative personality type will lose their stereotypical come across as slightly snappy and frazzled when challenged to socialize despite their lack of social energy. To put it into perspective, INFPs probably wouldn't last through a 3-day-long music festival, never mind a weekend at the in-laws. Number 9. Social interactions over human interactions. You're probably questioning, what's the difference between social and human interactions? Well, in an INFP's eyes, basically everything. Although this introverted type can feel irritable in times where they neglect their needs for personal space and alone time, the INFP is actually deeply interested in people and humanity as a whole. Much like other intuitive types, the INFP has a longing to uncover more and more about people and what makes them tick. Considered masters of understanding emotion and psyche, the INFP loves piecing together absorbed information in order to have a deeper understanding of human nature. Unfortunately for them, most interactions lack the genuine emotional human aspect and resort straight to social expectations. They hate to know that if they ask someone how they are, they'll probably get a mediocre "I'm great" and you response. They don't care about gossip or small talk. They want to know what's really going on in someone's mind without having to blatantly ask them. And number 10. Rigid structure and expectations. Creative and open-minded, the INFP personality type values flexibility in all aspects of life. With a preference for the more spontaneous side of life, this idealist much rather make loose plans and future projections to allow for unplanned changes. In fact, with such a deep creativity, INFPs are prone to change their minds, which definitely has its positive aspects, but ultimately means they tend to struggle with routines and consistency. Therefore, when INFPs are challenged to navigate through highly structured environments, such as school or certain workplaces where they're expected to do things in a certain way, they'll probably hate it, not to mention they don't do well with overly controlling or rigidly expecting relationships either. Well, that's it for today, Psychos. So, are you an INFP? And if so, do you relate to these 10 pet peeves? Let us know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more Psycho videos.